The bipartisan commission agreed with him. They passed him over. Shelley Silver said, I don't care what you think. I want my guy, my lackey, who voted for me every step of the way for 20 years and voted for every budget increase, every tax increase, every spending increase that brought our state to its knees. I want him in charge of our money. Since that time, he's further distinguished himself. The first official act he had was the New York Post asked him 5 financial questions. Guess how many he got right? 0. 0 for 5. I think that's an F. Then, Governor Patterson, again another Democrat, fellow Democrat, accused him of mismanaging the pension fund. And to top it all off, Andrew Cuomo is now investigating him for the same scandal that Alan Hemmese's tied up. That's the state of government. You can't make this stuff up, folks. And this is the guy watching our money. So is it any wonder that our state's a mess? So with that, I'll close, because I know we're following behind schedule, but I think the key thing is I need your help. You got to tell your friends, you got to tell your neighbors about this race. You got to explain to them why this position is so important, why this choice is so stark. I have no doubt in my mind that this were a job interview, and 19 million people in New York can interview me and Tom DiNapoli. I have a pretty good sense of what the outcome would be. But it's not a job interview. It comes down to name ID and money. He's still an incumbent. He doesn't have any money. But he's got our money, right? Doesn't have any money he's earned himself or praise from contributors. But the key thing is getting your help, getting the message out, explain to people how important this race is, and we'll win in November. Thank you.
Now, by the way, for the rest of the candidates in the room, take a lesson from this guy. He finished before I could actually get my question fully written. Well done. Fiscally sound and right on time. You might have a future in politics or somewhere else. As I said before, and as the host of the Business Talk Show, I'm a little familiar with the economic structure. New York's credit rating will continue to decline as pension fund legacy costs accrue. It's a fact. It happened in California, it happened in New Jersey, it will continue to grow. You mentioned pension fund oversight. You can't violate contract law, just won't pass the courts, but we need to do something about that. In order to stop the growth of these legacy costs in a bad economy, when the value of these funds has been severely decreased, and without being able to violate those contract laws and collective bargaining agreements, how will you advise the governor to move on this and bring the state closer to solvency rather than going further towards insolvency?
David, that's a terrific question. You're not giving yourself enough credit for the time you took to put that together. That, folks, is the worst and dirtiest secret in American government. The ticking time bomb is our pension funds and our unfunded retiree health care obligations. Let me tell you what Albany says it is, and let me tell you the truth. So Albany says that we have $130 billion in assets in our pension fund, and we owe $140 billion. So we're only $10 billion short. Only $10 billion. Only in Albany is that a small number. And then our retiree health care obligations, which are on the books for $56 billion, we have $0 set aside for that. So I think that means we're $56 billion short. That's the Albany math. But here's the problem with it. Albany assumes that we're going to make 8% a year, every year, forever, to pay that off. Okay? Now, in 2008, they were down 26%. So we're a little bit behind on that. You know what companies assume? Companies assume 6%. But here's the difference. If a company goes bankrupt, their pensions aren't constitutionally guaranteed. They can be changed. They can be modified like we did in restructurings. The state constitutionally guarantees it. So everybody in this room is on the hook for it. Every taxpayer, every citizen is on the hook for it. And so you got to look at it the right way. If you look at it the right way, the way the private sector would look at it, it's not a $10 billion shortfall in pension. It's tens of billions, maybe hundreds of billions. And then the retiree health care also is dramatically higher. So this is a $100 to $200 billion problem that no one wants to talk about. When you ask these people quietly, why don't you want to talk about it? They don't have any ideas, and they're afraid of it. Well, the first thing we have to do is be honest with ourselves about what the problem is so we can deal with it. So the first thing I would do, David, to your question, is be honest with them and lay out the facts in the way that a business person will look at it or a taxpayer will look at it. What are the real size of the hole that's going to be along the lines of what I just described? And the second thing is to say, look, we can't afford any more. So the first thing I publicly said when I first became a candidate, and my advisors were all terrified because I say what I think. And the first thing I said was we have to go to 401ks, especially called 401as for government employees, 401as for all new hires. We can't afford what we have, so we definitely can't make the problem worse. Everyone went crazy. You can't say that. The unions will be all mad at you. It's like, no, there's no alternative. There's no alternative. And so the second thing is you have to only go with contracts going forward that have 401ks or 401as for new employees. And for the folks who are in the pension system now, which is a lot of people, almost a million people, including retirees and employees, that's a good thing. It preserves the value of their pension, which is in their best interest and ours. So those are the key things I would focus on.